I'm going to need Jill to explain something to me because I just read this headline from NPR that YouTube has agreed to pay Donald Trump $24 million to settle a lawsuit over the January 6th suspension of Trump's YouTube account. I need somebody to explain to me why it is that corporations, CEOs are fucking up the math so badly when it comes to Donald Trump. Just like 2 days ago, I was talking about a piece that came out in Strength in Numbers discussing how corporations are failing to assess how profoundly unpopular Donald Trump is, and they are making significant strategic errors as a result. Did YouTube not just watch what happened to Disney after all of that Jimmy Kimmel shit went down? Now, I make my living off of YouTube. That is my primary source of income, and I am under no illusions that it is like a good or moral corporation, right? Any corporation in the United States is going to prioritize profit above anything else. There's no such thing as a moral corporation. There's no such thing as an ethical billionaire. There is no such thing as a publicly traded company that is going to prioritize the well-being of others above profit, right? In fact, in the bylaws of most of these corporations, they have to prioritize dividends for their shareholders. And of course, the CEOs are going to prioritize getting a big fat fucking bonus for themselves. Sorry, my 14-year-old's yelling at me that he locked up the poultry for me so that I could film. On some level, I get it. Corporations are looking at Donald Trump in 2025 and they're saying, okay, we have to protect our profit. More than that, we want to get much, much richer. We want to expand our business. We want to get those mergers and those takeovers that we want. We want access to those sweet, sweet government contracts. How is it that we can make even more money, grow our businesses, become more powerful and more obscenely rich under the corrupt regime of Donald Trump? Corruption is the name of the game. The grift is the name of the game. So how can we play along? How can we play along with Daddy Donald and rake in a big fat pile of dough? Look, I get it. I get that's why they're folding like a chair, right? They aren't actually scared of Trump. They are thinking we can make more money if we appease, if we capitulate, if we acquiesce to the shakedown, if we collaborate with fascism, then you know what? It's okay. It's okay if we throw our customers, our consumers under the bus. They've been real loyal to us, but we don't give two shits about them. We are only thinking about our profit. And we think that the way to make more money is to go along with what Trump is doing. That's the reality of what has been happening since Donald Trump was reelected. And I find it baffling because these fuckers don't know how to math. One of the things that Ezra from Indivisible talks about a lot is that part of the reason the situation is so dire in the United States right now, part of the reason that authoritarianism has ascended so rapidly in this country is because corporations which have tremendous wealth, institutions like universities, which basically operate as giant hedge funds, right? Columbia University, they're a giant hedge fund. And then also big law like Paul Weiss, like Skadden, big media like ABC and CBS, they have all done the opposite of what they did during Trump's first term. Because fewer of those big, powerful businesses and institutions are resisting fascism, Donald Trump is able to cement his power much more quickly. Businesses, colleges, and law firms who stood strong during his first administration have folded this time because they have decided that they can make more money betraying the American people and democracy. They are betraying you and me and our children and our future for money. That's it. That's all that's happening right now. All of these lawsuits that Trump brings, that's because he's a bully and he's done that for 40, 50 years. That is his MO, is sue other people into oblivion, right? He has money for lawyers. And now that Paul Weiss and Skadden have given Trump millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of free legal services to advance whatever the fuck he wants. Like, he just has a mountain of lawyers and he can sue everybody. And we've heard from legal expert after legal expert that these lawsuits are all ones that Trump would lose. If these businesses operated like Harvard, if these businesses operated like Perkins Coie and said, get fucked, we are not going to bow to you, we are not going to appease you, you will lose in court. If we had more of that fuck you, I'll see you in court, Trump would not be doing what he's doing now, right? When the first business fell, when the first institution buckled, when the first big law firm, fuck you, Paul Weiss, buckled and said, we'll give you what you want, Daddy Donald, that emboldened him, right? We know that when we all stand together, we have our strength, that he cannot come for all of us. That's the reason after Columbia University went and licked Trump's boots like a little bitch, that hundreds of other colleges and universities formed a coalition to share resources so that they could stand strong and stand up together. So I understand they all think it will be more profitable for them to support fascism. I would like someone to explain to me why they are so fucking bad at math. Today, YouTube decided that they would pay Donald Trump $24.5 million to resolve a 2021 lawsuit in which he claimed he was the victim of censorship when the site suspended his account, after he tried to incite an insurrection at the Capitol on January 6th. YouTube's parent company is Google, and the CEO of Google is buddies with Trump. I believe he sat behind him on the dais at Trump's inauguration. So we know that these guys are all buddy-buddy with each other already. Google said it will dedicate $22 million of the settlement toward construction of the $200 million Mar-a-Lago-style ballroom in the White House. Remember the ballroom? That's that little pet project that the folks who are pulling Donald Trump's strings gave him to keep him occupied. He dreamed of building a ballroom for forever. He tried to get Barack Obama to let him design a ballroom. He's obsessed with ballrooms. So this is just a little project. Well, Stephen Miller and Russell Vogt are fucking shit up over here. They're like, go over there, Grandpa. Keep yourself busy planning this ballroom. Lest you forget, back in January, Zuck and Facebook and Meta settled with Donald Trump for $25 million after they suspended his accounts on January 6th. And Elon Musk paid Donald Trump $10 million over similar allegations. Free speech experts, according to NPR, have said that these lawsuits have no credible legal claims since First Amendment protections typically apply to government officials, not private companies covering speech. Government officials, like when Donald Trump wanted to interfere and get Jimmy Kimmel fired. But instead, these companies all decided that they would line up and one by one, they would kneel down and they would kiss Donald Trump's saggy old... Eric Goldman, who's a law professor at Santa Clara University, said that this is straight up influence peddling. Yep, that's exactly what it is. These businesses think that they will get sweeter deals under Trump's corrupt regime if they play his game. And this is where I want to tie back into that strength in numbers piece that I talked up a couple of days ago, because what these corporations are failing to understand is that they're, choosing to go up against a Sicilian when death is on the line. This is a classic blunder. They looked at the fact that 49% of the vote went to Donald Trump, 48.5% of the vote went to Kamala Harris, and they're like, oh, the American people support this, so we'll go along with Donald Trump because we think he'll be in power for a long time. We think that the American people are behind him, and therefore, as long as we're trying to maximize our profit, we're going to kiss ass to the regime that can do that for us. Have they not learned from Disney just days ago? Only 65% of Americans who are eligible to vote voted in the last election. So Trump actually got just under 32% of the vote, and far less than that of the entire population of 340 million people. There are far more consumers than there are voters. These guys have done fucked up their math. They are only thinking about the percentage of votes cast in the 2024 election, and they are not calculating how swiftly Trump's approval has plummeted, the fact that he's underwater on every issue, and that a majority of Americans did not vote for and have never wanted Donald Trump. And all of us are consumers. This is why I'm asking y'all, why is it that people who run these very powerful corporations, I know that wealthy CEOs are like in their little bubble. I know the oligarchs are all walking around like they think they got big cocks and that it's the ascendancy of their technocratic future and that they think that they're going to turn all of us into little serfs. Why are they so fucking bad at math that they can't tell the difference between voters and consumers? Why is it that they're so bad at math that they forget there's just a handful of them and there's hundreds of millions of us? So Google folding today doesn't really surprise me, considering Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, and the CEO of Google are all up there on the dais. They're all up there thinking that they can maximize their profit if they kiss up to Trump. It is discouraging to see businesses that could choose to be an ally to the American people aren't, but also at the same time, this is capitalism and there are no moral businesses. It was never going to be CEOs and the super rich and corporations that were going to save us. It was always going to be us, the American people. So we need to keep organizing and exercising our collective power.